Recap the weekend.
Washington.
Yeah, obviously kind of felt like we left one out there on Thursday night against Washington. I mean, being up 10-5 in the fifth set and letting it slip. I mean, 14-16, I felt at 14-15 when they served us, we were shorter side out and we're going to run it back at them and keep it going for extra points. But they got a let serve and kind of dribbled over the tape. And it was one of the most frustrating ways to end what was a great spectacle of volleyball. I think, a lot of pride in taking the number 7 team in the country all the way to the line extra points, but also a little frustrating to not get it done, And then what was even more frustrating was the next day coming out and just not being able to get going, really. We just never got out of first gear, and hats off to Fresno State because they were up for it. And I think we probably had a little bit of a hangover from the day before. But, again, it's one of those situations, I've said it all year long so far, that we're growing through this adversity, I should say, and we're better for it. I mean, we had a phenomenal staff meeting yesterday with the coaching staff where we sat down and dissected both matches and kind of said, hey, what did we do well? What do we need to do better as a staff? And that is one of the most exciting meetings I've ever had with my staff, to be able to have those conversations. It's not something that we've had consistently over my time, and yet it's something we're falling into very consistently as a staff right now, is pushing to be better all the time, which is exciting. And then obviously they challenged the girls after the game on Friday that we need to be better, and made it clear the areas we needed to be better because it was pretty obvious in the serve and pass game. And we had athletes in the gym on Saturday, we had athletes in the gym on Sunday, and they're hungry. They're not satisfied. They're not just throwing their hands up and saying, what do we do? They're getting their nose to the grindstone and working. And to me, that's empowering for them because they recognize, hey, if I do the work, I can take control of my destiny a little more. And I think that's one of the key things that young adults can learn through athletics is their destiny is in their own hands a little bit if they do the work. And it's pretty cool to see a group of young women really go into work.
When you look at half of your schedule, it's nearly half of them have all gone to 5 sets, which is...
I know.
And I know you don't like how it goes to 5 sets, but what kind of, do you take away from that? Obviously, going 5 sets against a number 17 team is a great feat within itself, but then there's some games where you're like, we shouldn't even have gone 5 sets.
Yeah, I think it teaches you two things. I think, number one, it teaches me as a head coach that I know my team will respond. If we're in a battle, we're going to go into the battle. We're not going to back off for anybody. So those 5-set matches teach me that. I think also it teaches me that we can be a little bit more detail oriented, and we can be a little more aggressive in the moments that we have to be aggressive. But it would be, we look at our record, I think we're 4-6 or 4-7 right now. And if you take away those 5-set matches, if we had won all those 5-set matches, we could easily be, what would the reverse of that be? Like 9-2 or something of those sorts, And so where would I like to be right now? 9-2 would be great, but I don't think we would have learned what we've learned about ourselves if we were 9-2. I think we would have been like wiping our brow and phew, let's get on to the next one. Whereas what we've learned is so valuable. And as we go into conference play this coming week, I think we're in a better situation because of that.
Well, then adding to that 4-7 schedule, when somebody sees that from an outside perspective, they're like, that wasn't a great, preseason. But when you look at who you've been playing and you specifically put a schedule together that was very difficult, what do you look at or think of when you see that 4-7 schedule heading into Big Sky play?
I got chills right now thinking about it, just because we have played, I think, probably one of the toughest schedules that's been played at Montana State, if not in the Big Sky, for a long time. In terms of the quality of competition we've had and also the challenges we've faced, and so I know it's prepared us. I've always talked in Big Sky volleyball right now. You have to be good in October, November. You don't have to be great in August and September. And so the growth that we've sought out and the growth that we've experienced through August, September is going to stand us in good stead when it matters in Big Sky play. I'm confident of that.
Now you open Big Sky play tomorrow, and it just happens to be against the Grizz.
Yeah.
How are you feeling coming in tomorrow, and what's the game plan against them?
Win. That's the game plan. No, I'm excited. I mean, there's nothing like Cat Grizz. There really isn't. And I've been a part of some big rivalries, and I think I say this every year, having been at Utah and had the BYU-Utah rivalry, there's more passion and more vigor in the rivalry up here between the Cats and Grizz than there is in what they call the Holy War down there. And so for me, this just means more. As much as you want to say it's just another match, it isn't. It means more. I'm excited for our team to go out and experience it. We've got 2 classes that have not done this rivalry match in front of fans, so it's going to be a challenge because half of our squad hasn't experienced that. But those who have know what it takes, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast.
Well, the 2 seasons without fans, how do you prepare your team for that? Just because it's a Brawl the Wild and you're not even in Bozeman, you're in Missoula.
Yeah, I think you just got to soak it up. I think the Missoula fans bring their best version of themselves, whatever that looks like. It's a unique experience. We talk often in the recruiting process that there's no other school in the Pacific Northwest who has this same rivalry, there's so much passion involved and so much enthusiasm involved in it that you just got to enjoy it. I think if you try and combat it or you try and, minimalize it, I think you're going to be fighting a losing battle. So soak it up, soak it in, let it feed your energy, and let's go from there,
Speaking of the Grizz, did anybody at Washington say they were tired of playing Montana teams?
A few people did. Before the match, a few people at the hotel commented to us, hey, we lost to Montana last week. And I said, well, we'll let you lose to Montana State again this week. And after the match, there was quite a few people, stewards in the stadium and coaches and different administrators who came up and said, man, you guys from Montana, you'd like to come over here and give us a scare, don't you? And I just wish we'd been able to do what the football team did the previous week. But, hey, it's all great. I think I love the experience, and our girls just absolutely love the experience of being able to go over there and play in a big-time school, big-time arena and have that experience. It was great.
Does it give you any confidence knowing that you swept the Grizz last season on the road, or new team?
Yeah, it's kind of a new team. I think I look at it, I'm not shy about it with the team. I say my record against the Grizz is 6-2. I want to be 7-2 after tomorrow night, and the 2 losses I've had against the Grizz, they sting. They hurt, and they hurt more than most. And so there is a sense of confidence in the sense of we know what it takes, but there's also, we don't buy into that confidence too much because they have very much a new program. They've got 2 new outside hitters. They've got a new middle blocker and, some new pieces on their side of the net. So, and they're doing well. They're playing some good volleyball at this time of the year. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, not only because they're doing well, but because of the environment. And, we'll step out and see what it takes.
What will be the toughest matchup, the toughest thing that they're going to pose for you?
Their middles are really efficient. Their middle attackers are really efficient. They're hitting really high. I think one of their middle attackers leads the Big Sky in hitting percentage right now. I think she's hitting above 400. And so, we're going to have to figure out how to slow them down. And to be honest, it's going to be no secret. It's going to come down to serving and passing. If we can serve well and put them under pressure, take their middles out of the equation, then it will go well. If they serve well and take our middles out of the equation, it's going to be a bit of back and forth on that. But it's really not rocket science when it comes down to volleyball.
Well, and speaking of middle blockers, you are second in blocking though, Emma Penson. So when you have those 2 people up front, what kind of challenge or what are you going to expect from your front row players tomorrow?
Yeah, control the net. I think they had a really nice match against University of Washington, who is nationally regarded as one of the best blocking programs in the country, and we matched them. I think it was 10 blocks each in a 5-set match. And I think, it's against Fresno, we didn't quite get there. And so we've been watching film all morning. I've had Jordan Raddick and Emma Pence in my office all morning just watching film and saying, hey, this is where we can be just inches better, because that's what it comes down to with blocking. And I'd like to think that we can go out and be effective with our block, and I'd like to think that we will be effective behind the block as well with that digging. So it's something we're looking to execute for sure. Great. Thanks, guys.